Hey guys, welcome to my channel, or welcome back. Okay, so these are collective readings. They're not going to resonate with everybody, so take what resonates and leave the rest. Okay, so we've got the moon card. So there's been a lot of moon magic. Someone is doing some sort of moon magic. Lunacy spells, okay. We've got the Wheel of Fortune in reverse. They've got a lot of bad karma for this. They've also been doing a lot of hexes, which is now reversing and now returning back onto them. We've got the Two of Cups in reverse. This could be an ex who could be involved in some sort of secret society, in a secret cult or a secret coven, okay? An ex, the Hangman in reverse and the Knight of Swords, they was attacking, okay? They was attacking. And they went in for some sort of a sacrifice. They wanted some sort of gifts. They was begging for some sort of help, okay, to bring an end in. Because they're very mean, very possessive, very controlling. So they teamed on up with the beast. Okay, because they wanted some sort of gifts for themselves, okay. This could be an ex who was always breadcrumbing, alright. Could have gone to a secret society to beg for some sort of help. A Libra, Gemini, Aquarius. And played some sort of victim. We've got Capricorn, Virgo, Taurus energy. They didn't want to have to work. They didn't want to have to work, alright, to get to where they are. They didn't want to have to work. Ever. So this person could have never have had a job, or maybe just in earlier years. This masculine or feminine. Four of Swords and the Devil card. Seven of Cups in reverse. Was performing some sort of spell work, dark spell work, because they want you to be bound to them. But they're bound to the devil. They're bound to the devil for several things. And they was persistently doing spell work, persistently doing hexes with some sort of secret society, which is now all reversing back onto them. They wanted to be seen as strong, like they worked with the beast. And we've got a Queen of Wands in reverse. Could be doing some sort of beauty magic. Could have teamed up with a Jezebel. Some sort of beauty magic. Jezebel, okay. They was pulling Knight of Wands in reverse and the Sun card. They was pulling off masculine or feminine's energy because they wanted some sort of financial stability for themselves. They played the victim. When they're in possession of something, they have something. They wanted to, like, in their eyes, a gift to them would to be bringing an end in, which was a bad investment. They wanted to bring an end into masculine or feminine. Maybe they didn't like masculine or feminine outshining them, okay, having some sort of gifts or skills what they didn't possess or what they wanted for themselves, and they're always playing a victim. Always playing a victim. Could have kicked them out, okay, and with the Queen of Wands in reverse, they were seducing everybody with lies to bring chaos. To, like, crown chakra magic, chaos magic. They wanted to bring chaos. Eight of Swords in reverse and some sort of stagnation. The High Priestess in reverse. They wasn't listening to the intuition. They wasn't listening to their intuition. They just went on some sort of attacks persistently. So they wasn't listening to their intuition. Some sort of like passionate about bringing drama, battling, okay. The World card in reverse. This is karmics. Two of Wands who could be jealous of how powerful you are. They're about to lose everything. They're going to lose everything for what they have done. It's been brought to the light. They was trying to take away some sort of financial stability, independence, or independent business, what they wanted for themselves. But they wasn't listening to the intuition. Could have stood up, spoke the truth, okay? But they was passionate about underhanded behaviour and taking some sort of prosperity. So could have got in Queen of Swords mode, spoke some sort of truth, but they was passionate about underhanded behaviour and taking some sort of prosperity and some sort of energy harvesting. Got Queen of Pentacles in reverse because they don't want to work. So they was doing some sort of black magic. They could have been paying for this because they took some sort of wealth. And then masculine or feminine could have got in Queen of Swords mode again, but they was passionate about taking more prosperity. So always coming back, okay, spreading some sort of bad news, seduce with lies, bad investment, seduce with lies, bad investment. They don't want some sort of truth to come out surrounding a heartbreaking event, some sort of a traumatic event. So they're doing everything they can to try and stagnate something. Because they wanted to, with the 10 of Wands, offload their karmic debts, offload their burdens, offload their karmic debt and the grubby energy. So they was in battle mode, in competition mode. In battle mode, in competition mode. So we've got Jezebel who likes to flip-flop around, okay, walk around like they're all innocent, alright. Bad investment for investing in defending this Jezebel who also wants to offload their karmic debt, okay, playing happy families, alright. But there's a lot of like SEX and Jezebel, Queen of Wands in reverse, bad mother. Always about SEX more than the kids. So multiple SEX partners, alright, teamed up together because they wanted to be seen as all strong and powerful. So there could be multiple families who teamed up against an archangel to stop some sort of justice. Teamed up with an archangel to stop some sort of justice, and they was helping a Jezebel stop some sort of justice. So they didn't want to bring justice because they wanted to help Jezebel, who's got multiple SEX partners. Oh my lord. 10 of Cups in reverse. It's a very dysfunctional family. 8 of Wands in reverse, they're nothing but bad news. 2 of Wands in reverse, they're nothing but cowards. There could be multiple mother figures who are bad mothers. They don't like balance, they don't like peace, they don't like harmony, and they don't like that. They don't like it being brought to light. Something surrounding taking some sort of studies, some sort of ideas, plagiarism, okay? Stacks, like bags and bags of ideas, bags and bags of like studies, someone else's hard work, someone else's perseverance for themselves. Some sort of perseverance. The fruits of somebody else's labour is what they wanted. Somebody else's growth put onto them so they can grow in their world. But it is surrounding a lot of wealth, what they wanted for themselves, and they wanted to bring an end in. Somebody could be in possession of some sort of a weapon, an ex, who could be claiming to be depressed, could be in possession of some sort of weapon. got onto some sort of a contract, K-I-L-L-I-N-G. So got onto a contract, K-I-L-L-I-N-G. Because they didn't want masculine or feminine to be able to move away, move forward, trapped in a toxic cycle, and they put money into their bank account. We've got bank failure with corrupt police, corrupt law, underhanded behaviour, cashing checks. This has been going on for a long time. With this toxic in reverse, these police officers, corrupt police officers, don't want anyone else to know how toxic they really are, because it's a very toxic police force surrounding fake friends who they're all in bed with one another. So that's why it is toxic, because they're all in bed with one another, and it's about who can give them some sort of favours for immunity, okay? But there's been a lot of hexes, a lot of curses, a lot of spell work, a lot of sex, and masculine or feminine doesn't want to be lied to. They don't want to be controlled. They don't want to be manipulated. So you may know something about that. You may know the tea. And all they care about is Jezebels, okay? Incubus, succubus. All they care about is protecting incubus, succubus and Jezebel, because that is why it's a toxic police force. Creating a lot of drama, okay? Rage baiting is what I'm getting. A lot of drama, so then they can get masculine or feminine acting out of character while they all get a room together, or they was getting a room together, and cashing checks into their bank account. So we've got like some sort of RICO, embezzlement, money laundering with corrupt coppers who's been cashing checks into their bank account. And they've been spreading rumours, okay? They've been spreading rumours online, stalking, online harassment, getting lippy from fake accounts, alright? Getting lippy from fake accounts, all discussing how they're going to kick this masculine or feminine to the curb, which was a bad choice, a bad investment, okay? And rage baiting, causing a lot of drama, and getting gobby online and paying some sort of hush-hush money, trying to keep some sort of secret, and was burning evidence, because they wanted to destroy masculine or feminine. They got in their feels with their bugaboos, and they don't want people to know how much of a fucked up police force it actually is, and how they've been getting involved in some sort of embezzlement, money laundering, racketeering. Which good gentleman in reverse, and then we've got bereavement. So someone could have been through divorce in this connection, alright? Somebody just wanted to be seen as a rich man, a good man, a rich man. Someone was playing some sort of a good man. Could be some sort of insurance policy, but they've been playing the good guy, but they're actually very toxic, they're actually very devious, okay? All they like to bring is grief and like challenges, chaos, drama, conflict surrounding some sort of money. Them and their partner, they could be under investigation. 14. So them and the partner under investigation. We've got military in reverse. It's an ex-military man, and they could have been personing, which they was meeting up and discussing about is that right? Yeah. S poisoning. I'll just say it. But you can get some sort of restriction for saying certain words. But yeah, so they've been discussing how to bring about an ending multiple times, because they was expecting to get away with this, and with this work and occupation, they could be a married couple who is on the verge of some sort of divorce, who work within some sort of police force or legal area where they're using their job to abuse their power position in order to get some sort of power of attorney, to have some sort of control. Linkings to some sort of a religious place of worship, okay? A religious place of worship. This could be this cult or coven, linking to a religious place of worship where they're going to cover each other's back. They could have tried to make out like masculine or feminine, wiped themselves out. We've got child in reverse, a little child. They could have done this to masculine or feminine since they was a child. They could have done a lot of bad things to masculine or feminine since they were a child, but they want to make out like they're a rich, good gentleman, but they're all about the money. So forcing some sort of power of attorney, alright? Forcing some sort of power of attorney. And this rich, good gentleman in reverse, who's nothing but a bad man, may have been on edge. May have been on edge a few times, surrounding taking hold of a substantially large amount of money and wanted to do some sort of insurance job. Sad news in reverse, they didn't even feel bad about what they was doing because they wanted the money. We've got hope, big water and caught in reverse, and we've got great happiness in reverse and journey in reverse. So corrupt courthouse was involved in creating diverse detours, okay, falsified legal documentation and falsified medical records. 1717, we've got short illness, then we've got change. Because they was also involved in ending masculine or feminine's journey. We've got a good lady in reverse. This could be a female judge, okay, who's fake, false, alright, a female judge who's falsifying legal documentation, who thinks that they should take hold of some sort of money, scoop it towards them, and they're expected to stay out of prison because they're a court person. And no one's going to suspect a thing. No one's ever going to dare investigate a corrupt courthouse, are they? That's what they think. No one's ever going to dare investigate a corrupt courthouse with corrupt law officials where they've been burning evidence, splitting money amongst themselves, cashing checks, rage baiting, okay, wrongful reports, wrongful arrests, like incitement, rage baiting, wrongful arrests is what I'm getting, fake false police reports, fake arrests to cover up some sort of grand larceny, embezzlement or RICO, because they're all friends with each other and all sleeping with each other. And again, they don't want people to know how much of a fuck up this courthouse, this local authority, these lawyers, judges, solicitors are, because they're persistently very toxic. They like to perform rituals and do a lot of dark spell work to cover their backs. Like, that word there, magic, dream magic, okay. They like to play happy families on social media while they're doing moon magic, moon rituals, hexes and curses, which are all reversing back on to them. There's a lot of hexes, a lot of curses, and they like to play the victim. So very narcissistic, sociopathic, psychopaths, they like to play the victim with this rage baiting, alright? because they don't want to bring some sort of balance. They don't want to bring some sort of justice. They want to play the victim. While cashing cheques and stealing a substantially large amount of money with a corrupt police force who also like to rage bait, who also like to wrongfully arrest this masculine or feminine because they don't want to bring justice. So there has been like some sort of wrongful arrests, wrongful convictions, because they want to play the victim. Whilst victimising, cashing cheques into their accounts and burning evidence. And burning evidence. But because it's local authorities, local police, okay, courthouses and law firms, they think they're going to get away with it forever. They just think they're going to get away with it. We're untouchable. No one's ever going to investigate us. No one's ever going to give a damn. We got a bad mother figure who wants to bring an ending, or they could have tried to label somebody, because it is a collective reading, as a bad mother because they love the thought of taking hold of some sort of gifts, some angelic gifts, and earth angels gifts, and ideas and studies, and they wanted this strength, and they invested in some sort of making masculine or feminine a sacrificial lamb because they wanted the fruits of their labour, their line of work, their studies, their ideas, their gifts for themselves. So made masculine or feminine a victim countless times because they want their business, they want their gifts, okay? But they're shut off from their intuition. They've not been listening to the intuition. They could have wanted to be seen as some sort of wise old owl, okay? Making out like it's the fruits of their labour. But it's not. It's not. And they love to make people a victim. A corrupt government organisation invested in this. A corrupt government organisation invested in taking someone else's studies, ideas, okay, everything, what they worked for, their sleepless nights, okay, all their hard work, life's worth of work for themselves, and then started manipulating and using their work, okay, because this could be like police cars, because they're all devil worshippers. So a devil worshipping police force who like to use their work, okay, to manipulate and lie and control and use their police cars to stalk the original star because they dreamed about having this generational wealth for themselves, that hard work, that perseverance, so they got involved in a lot of underhanded behaviour. So using their police cars in order to stalk, gang stalking, okay? So in these police cars, all they are is just nothing but devils in a meat suit. And they want an earth angel's gifts, skills, talents, their wealth transferred on to them because it's a corrupt government organisation who refuses to bring justice in any situation unless you're a Jezebel, incubus, and you're a compulsive liar. And you love to like work to control the narrative. There's been a lot of moon magic. It's like different moon cycles. A lot of moon magic, a lot of candle magic, a lot of manipulation, okay? A lot of pulling strings, trying to control, and a lot of gang stalking to try and take hold of somebody else's hard work, okay, dreams, girls, alright, take their stardom for themselves and their generational wealth for themselves with corrupt government organisation who want to play some sort of victim because they love to play the victim whilst investing in victimising people. So they like to play the victim whilst investing in victimising people because they're a set of devil worshippers. So local police force, local government, local authority, they like to, they're all a set of devil worshippers. They're all a set of devil worshippers who like to rape bait. Bringing some sort of heartbreak or some sort of depression because they want this destiny for themselves. This wealth, this generational wealth, which is a large amount of money, what they want to take control of, what they want to take for themselves. So there could be some sort of a lawsuit going down because they actually want someone else's sole purpose for themselves. Probably because they've already sold the souls, alright, and they got pittance. So then they teamed up to take somebody else's wealth and want to take their sole purpose for themselves. Sounds like local authorities in my area. A set of devil worshippers. Set of devil worshippers who's going to get sued an extremely large amount of money for what they've done to me. Yeah, they are. Yeah, they are. So they keep gaining more evidence. So all these haters have been recruited, a lot of copycats, straight up copy and pasting plagiarism with fake friends, who's also been getting involved in some sort of gang stalking, okay, while they're cashing money into their account and taking ideas for themselves and say, we don't hate ya, we love ya, we care about ya, whilst causing explosive situations, alright, because they're jealous, they're envious, okay, they're lippy, alright, they get lippy, they get lippy, they get lippy, they get gobby, they get gobby about it. They boast about what they've been doing. They've been boasting. Splashing the cash, splash spending. I don't know. Paying for spell work. Getting involved in gang stalking. Power of attorney. And they've been pulling money from accounts. Splash spending. They will have to sell their homes to pay back. They seek full control and they want to know this masculine or feminine's every move. Every move. Every single move. This is why the gang stalking. Called calculated. KILLERS. Enemies are all getting raided. They're losing it all. They thought they was getting away with it. They're going to try and plead insanity and corrupt law are getting fired for cover-ups. So they're getting fired for cover-ups. They've been doing end yourself spells. Using fake videos, pictures, using AI to set masculine or feminine up for crimes they've not committed. They've been tampering with evidence to cover up a crime. And then they've been doing witness intimidation, harmed or threatened. 29. Paying for spell work with stolen money. Paying for surgery and spell work. Paying for surgery and spell work with stolen money. They've got a lot of entity attachments, plots, plans, schemes exposed They've been going to a dark practitioner, a dark energy worker, and even the corrupt law have been fighting to take this masculine or feminine's full identity from them. So even corrupt law, okay, are having some sort of identity crisis because they've also been fighting to take masculine or feminine's full identity, alright, take their work, take their ideas, take hold of their wealth, take their destiny and their full identity for themselves. So probably even some sort of like doppelganger, getting involved in humiliation rituals. They will get life in prison. We've got black collar crimes, theft to money laundering, child, what have you, clergy or clergy, however you say it, wants to be your handler. So wants to be masculine or feminine's handler, and then wants their ending video uploaded to the dark web because of a set of serial enders called calculated enders hired a HIT man on the dark web. They're going to need to get a dentist when they're in prison because the teeth are coming out in prison for what they have done. The teeth are coming out. Deflection. Blaming someone else for your or their problems by painting themselves as victim. So they've all got a victim mentality. I'm the victim, whilst victimising this masculine or feminine many, many times and not bringing justice. Whilst victimising because they're helping devil worshippers. They are devil worshippers, incubus, succubus, Jezebel, rage baiting, constantly projecting low vibrational frequencies towards masculine or feminine because they've been cashing checks and taking their wealth, and they hate this masculine or feminine, yet they're trying to take their full identity. So it should be the other way around. Trying to justify their evil acts and evil deeds, and even corrupt law have been getting involved in filing false reports. Because they need to feed a screaming entity. That's because they're a devil worshipper and there's entities attached to them. They like to, there's been a couple of humiliation rituals at least, and it's a criminal enterprise. So many haters recruited against you, they don't even like themselves. They don't even like themselves. They don't. They don't like themselves. Getting their lovers to watch from fake accounts and working with the spirit of rage. And projecting that with rage bits. So they're all narcissists. It's a very narcissistic, devil worshipping police force. Very narcissistic. All the phrase that a very toxic police force who just do not want to bring justice. And they want to play the victim. Refuses to let masculine or feminine's energy go because, well, the snake is devouring them. We've got father. This could be a father figure or the father of lies. It's devouring them. It's devouring them. They've got so much bad karma for what they've done. They tried to set masculine or feminine up in a fight to be outnumbered, because that's what they've been doing. Constantly trying to outnumber masculine or feminine, have them in constant battle mode, and then they play the victim. And they play the victim. 34. They thought there was their 1% club, but like 75% of the world's population by now, you know, they thought there was a 1% club. So they fell under their own illusions. They think there's only 1% devil worshippers, narcissists, toxic people in the world. And they want access to masculine or feminine's energy for protection. Yet they're supposed to be working within the police force, so shouldn't they be working with Archangel Michael and not the devil? Shouldn't they be working with Archangel Michael and not the devil? But it is a devil worshipping police force who thinks there's only 1% of them on the planet. But it's not. They just fell under their own illusions. So what they have done is heartbreaking and gut-wrenching, extremely unpleasant and upsetting, and there's a lodge under investigation because the Freemasons or Eastern Stars are involved. So Freemason have been running local authority. Here's a wrongful imprisonment. Filing false reports and wrongfully imprisoning masculine or feminine, and that's why there's going to be a major lawsuit because of what they have done. There's a major lawsuit. They just wanted to act like big man. And there was even doing accounts online. Acting like big man, doing fake accounts online, they're going to prison. Okay? They're going to prison for what they've done. They need some sort of mental health evaluation. We've got Hermit Vega, their cloak's been dropped. They was trying to disguise themselves, playing games, walking all over, trampling all over. A police force who like to play very sinister games because they want to be made out like they're financially stable. They wanted to buy maybe a house or a home or pay off some sort of mortgage or the rent because they're very toxic and they're very corrupt. All they care about is themselves. And they've ended people before. They've ended people before. Corruption, injustice. There's something to do with unrequited love, and they like to drink a lot. They like to drink a hell of a lot. They like to drink a hell of a lot. There's even unrequited love in their relationships because, well, they're a narcissist and all they care about is themselves, alright? They don't even care about the children, or if they have children, all they care about is manipulating and controlling because it's a police force full of narcissists who want somebody else's spiritual protection for themselves. So they had it all mapped out with a corrupt judge who's got unrequited love for even bringing justice. So they've got unrequited love for bringing justice. They just want to use their hammer and whip up a storm and be sneaky and deceptive. Alright, and maybe with a Six of Swords, put money in an offshore overseas account because they've been making deals with the devil and a lawyer. So they've been making deals with the devil. It's the Swords, that's the truth. And they wanted some sort of gifts abroad, you know, whatever that may be. A holiday home, a holiday, alright, some cigarettes, alcohol, a bottle of expensive alcohol, alright, is what they've been spending it on, expensive alcohol. Chaos agents, bringing chaos, bringing trauma, bringing drama, online stalking, wrongful imprisonment, but what they've input into their computers, they can't actually get rid of it. And they've been caught stalking, they've been stalking. They've got some sort of foreign account, maybe a house or a home abroad. Ace of Swords, that's his truth. They've got a foreign bank account, a house, a home abroad. Okay, it's some sort of sunny place. What they didn't want people to be finding out about. They have a house or a home abroad. In another country. Maybe something like Hawaii for some. Florida. Oh. They just wanted to shower themselves with gifts, shower themselves with money, shower themselves with somebody else's prosperity. So they all got in on ripping that away from masculine or feminine. So it could be hitting the news. Okay, it could be hitting the news surrounding a lot of chaos, a lot of trauma, chaos agents for the devil, who just want some sort of financial stability, who get involved in sneaking around, stalking, spying. That's the truth. Because they want some sort of gifts, okay? They could have wanted some sort of keys, like an upgrade, some sort of property, a bigger house, a bigger home, pay off their rent, pay off their mortgage, and they just wanted to eat well. And we got the sacrifice card in reverse. Tried to sacrifice 5 of Pentacles in reverse because they wanted to come out of poverty. And they wanted to make out like we'd have a happy ending. Alright, we've got it all mapped out with corrupt judge, alright, who's got unrequited love for bringing justice. Wanted to micromanage, okay? Wanted to avoid judgment. Everyone who invested, even this attorney, wants to avoid judgment for what they've done because they was happy about it. They was happy about it because they wanted to eat well, so they got involved in multiple sacrificing. We've got 6 of Cups. Time's running out. They could have even done this to child or children because they wanted some sort of stardom for themselves. With the 4 of Wands, this could be who masculine or feminine used to live with at some point. Someone from family, someone from past, someone from childhood. They wanted some sort of stardom for themselves. They was bringing a lot of drama because they wanted to be in some sort of limelight, okay? 9 of Cups in reverse. They just wanted to shatter, exhaust, tire and wear the victim out because that's what they was passionate about. Wearing the victim out, wearing them down, more corruption, more injustice. What they tried to block because they've been even playing games online, acting like the big man online. Could be a Capricorn involved who's going to get found guilty, okay, for stalking online, account hacking. They're going to get found guilty. They're going to try and plead insanity for trying to rip everything off masculine or feminine because they wanted to be showered, okay, in somebody else's wealth. Oh my lord. And corrupt law involved, who's all going to lose their job. Again, what they've put into their computer with these false reports. We've got a Leo, Aries or Sagittarius, who's also very toxic. Alright, what they've put in to their computers, they can't actually get rid of it. The 5 of Pentacles, because they wanted the victim to stay in poverty with nothing. 7 of Swords in reverse. So they were spreading nothing but bad news, whipping up a storm, lying, and now with the 10 of Swords in reverse, their ship is sinking because all they do is some sort of rituals, spell work, And they're being caught stalking and probably using their police car to stalk. And they like to play the victim. Are the victim, but yeah, whatever they put into their computers, their devices, emails, messages, okay, even like corrupt law, when they've been doing this wrongful imprisonment, they can't get rid of that evidence. We've got IIED, intentional infliction of emotional distress law, recklessly causing another to suffer, and a judge is under investigation, trying to end you with GUNs to, or trying to follow you with GUNs to end you before you speak out. So even corrupt judges are involved in this criminal enterprise, embezzlement, money laundering, identity theft. The HIT man now has a HIT on them. And we've got cars and bikes with stolen money. So this could be like an uncle, them and their niece, them, their daughter, their niece involved. Or they could have done this to their own niece for some. Or their niece or their daughter is involved, or a cousin. And they've been putting money in banks, again, using their computer. We've got Leo, Aries, Sagittarius, who's been putting money and shifting money through accounts to accounts and using their job as a police officer to conceal some sort of evidence, paying people hush-hush money. Leaving the one who they've stolen from with nothing in the Five of like Pentacles, Six of Swords, while they swan off abroad, okay, offshore overseas accounts. They're very evil. They're very evil. Again, for some, they could have labelled masculine or feminine as a bad mother, yet they've got many mother figures involved in fabricating evidence and using their position to abuse it. Because they wanted some keys to a property for themselves, because they thought they deserved it for themselves. Could be a Taurus or a Virgo involved. Cars with stolen money. Not listening to their intuition. All they wanted was some sort of gift. A lawyer trying to block, but we've got justice in the upright. Virgo, Taurus energy, Virgo in reverse, like hermit mode. The cloak's been dropped. They've been trying to block justice for countless crimes. They've been trying to block it. Two of Pentacles in reverse, they're very dangerously low vibrational. Everything what they've been doing is very dangerously low vibrational. And then they play the victim. But there is going to be justice surrounding a situation which they're probably angry about. Because they took a gift of some sort of hush-hush money, didn't listen to the intuition, okay, probably bought a car with the money, cash in check into their accounts, they probably bought a car, a more of a luxurious car, because that's what they thought they'd be able to get for blocking justice, and now they're going to end up losing in a full law firm, and the law firm is going to get sued. Playing a lot of mind games because they wanted to come on up. They wanted to come on up, so they was doing a lot of gaslighting, a lot of psychological warfare, all having their input and lying to rage bait, so then they could spread more bad news. Seven of Swords in reverse. More lying to get masculine or feminine angry, so they can go, oh, they've got this mental health problem. They've got that mental health problem. Because there's unrequited love there. And they just like to romanticise and fantasise about being mean, controlling, very mean, controlling, okay? Because the happiness haters. The happiness haters, and they want to control somebody's stardom. They want to control somebody's fame. So this is like handler. Control that. Because they want it for themselves. So not got best intentions for anybody. This local police force. Not got best intention, yeah, because there's unrequited love there. So they don't really care about anyone other than themselves because they're all narcissists. Always want to control. All going down, exposed. And they are surrounded by undercovers and on the watch list. They've been doing some sort of shut up spells. Could be a father figure involved. Shut up spells. But they're all going down. Could be a father, could be an uncle, could be a niece, okay? And they've been caught stalking. Stop and block justice spell. And again, they've been playing the victim. They've got some right sick fantasies. Right sick fantasies. What they want to fulfill. Because, well, the enders, they end people in the most brutal ways. They end people in the most brutal ways. They've been travelling around meeting on up. Okay. Probably discussing how they're never going to be honest and how they don't want to bring balance, they don't want to bring harmony in a situation. And with this partnership in reverse, they don't want no one to partner with this masculine or feminine because they're a set of control freaks. Because they don't want to see this masculine or feminine transform or transform other people's lives or transform their own life because they want to take this wealth. So they're in recuperation right now. After creating a lot of upheaval. After creating a lot of conflicts. That's probably because they have no love in their hearts. Some of these patients, could be something to do with patience, but people could have been cautioned before, could have been warned before, been cautioned before. But then they was like released to continue to pass GUNs around or something like that. Strength, turmoil, so a lot of turmoil, and turmoil again is what they want to keep bringing, and they're very dangerous, very dangerous, been a lot of battling, for this wealth, for this money, to take control of everything. So they could have also been like buying, selling properties, okay, DRUGS, trafficking, SEX, trafficking. Maybe they didn't want to listen to their intuition and take some sort of advice because they thought they was above the law. I'm above the law. I'm above the full entire universe. I'm a judge, I'm a lawyer, I'm a solicitor, I'm an attorney. And if I want to have my input, take everything, and I want to be off the on the come up, alright, taking some sort of wealth and playing mind games and fabricate legal documentation and medical record, then I can. And if I want to take that prosperity, then I can. but they don't want to take advice, okay? Could have been going to some sort of psychic, Two of Swords in reverse, who could see through what they was doing, and they didn't want to take advice. They just wanted some keys to a property. Five of Pentacles in reverse, they wanted to come out of poverty themselves and live a life of luxury and keep going to stick the boot in. So child or children's life could also be at risk because they're jealous. A masculine or feminine doesn't want to be controlled. But they want to catch flies, act like big man, big woman, catching flies. Sneaking on off abroad. Catching flies, sneaking on off abroad. Acting our big man in another country. Creating more confusions or some sort of diversions, distractions, taking some sort of gifts. Because they've been working with the beast to try and take control. Very sneaky, very deceptive, very sly, very cunning. Always wanting to compete. They could have done this to a high priestess for some. For some they've done this to a high priestess, but some they've been sneaking on off and getting a lot of readings done. To see what's to come, which is their ship sinking. They're trying to rip everything off masculine or feminine and micromanage them because they want to be able to control when they come up or when they shine, when they're allowed to shine, when they're allowed to expand, because they're a raging alcoholic, solicitor. We should be able to control your come up when you're allowed to expand in business, and what the hell? So basically they're all head gone and they're very dysfunctional. Very toxic, very dysfunctional, and all with this Ten of Pentacles in reverse. Insurance job or something like that. But they want the fruits of somebody else's labour, like I keep saying. They want this wealth for themselves, and they've got very dangerous, and they keep attacking, masculine or feminine. Oh my lord. They could have invested with an ex. And creating a lot of illusions, bringing a lot of corruption and injustice. And they want to end masculine or feminine, and they've all been smiling about it. So they can catch flights abroad, open up a bank account abroad, sacrificing. Again, they had it all mapped out, paying for crystal ball readings, more corruption, more injustice, and even a judge has tried to organise masculine or feminine's ending because they don't like free thinkers, they don't like people, they don't want to hear other people's opinions, only what they think should be happening. And if someone should be able to expand and be successful and have their own money transferring into their bank account or not. Well, yeah, so they are being caught acting like the big man. Seven of Swords have been caught. They've been caught stalking. They've been caught spying. They've been caught lying, okay? Because they wanted to have an offshore overseas account. So they're going to get found guilty for taking money. Flights, offshore overseas accounts whilst gaslighting. Whilst gaslighting and organising and ending. So So they're going to get life in prison. Nine of Swords are going to get found guilty. Three of Pentacles in reverse. It was all orchestrated, but could be piecing of some sort of unsolved crimes. Missing pieces to unsolved crimes. Other people who didn't want to be controlled either, but they want to force some sort of control, some sort of power of attorney. We've got danger of loss and harmony in reverse. They're losing absolutely everything. They're going to lose absolutely everything. Empathy in reverse. They have no compassion. They have no empathy. They have no remorse. They've done this many a times. Committing crimes to cover up a crime, to cover up a crime, to cover up a crime. It's a piece in the puzzle together. Committing crimes to cover up a crime. Could have a pal who works in the bank, okay, or sneaking off to the bank, okay, opening up a bank and then transferring money into the bank and maybe buying a new car or something like that. Wow. Sneak into a bank and putting money into the bank account whilst playing victim, an offshore account also. And again, could have gone abroad, an attorney, and wanted to orchestrate an ending whilst they was abroad. Wow. Because they don't want their victim to be able to speak out. So they keep trying to bring an ending with a corrupt attorney. There's so many people trying to bring an ending because they want to start flying around, jetting on off over here, jetting on off over there, opening an account over here. Even a corrupt judge battling and competing and bringing competition for wealth was not even theirs. I mean, what's wrong with them? What's wrong with them? They're a psychopath, narcissist, sociopath, probably a Freemason, an Eastern Star who's never going to want to bring justice to victims under Archangel Michael. That's why the law needs to be changed surrounding these devil worshippers. Just because you're a devil worshipper don't mean to say you should get away with everything, does it? Just because you worship the devil, okay, doesn't mean to say you can use people as like a sacrificial lamb to the devil, because that's what they keep doing. And they've done it many a times. They've done it many a times, man. All seducing each other with lies, like with Jezebel. So I'm going to get brought to the knees. They're going to get brought to the knees. They're all going to get found out for what they've done or what they've been doing. And they're all going to get brought to the knees. That's a lot of attempted to end, but they probably ended up losing other people in the process with their DEATH magic. A full corrupt government, like lawyers, judges, police, solicitors, attorneys, all losing the job. And they think that the judge should have a last say, even if the judge's decision is wrong, even if the judge is taking hold of somebody else's wealth, they should just be able to, what, just roll over and die, basically. plots, plans and schemes exposed. Just because they're a corrupt judge doesn't mean to say they should get away with everything. Just because they're a corrupt judge don't mean to say, or a devil worshipper, whatever, don't mean to say that they should get away with stealing other people's wealth and taking control of somebody else's full life, and when they can have the right to live some sort of a normal life because of this evil corruption going down. It's ridiculous. Shocking.